Man, I know some of you guys got your wallets out, your hot little hands are searching for Ravnica Remastered steals and deals. Well, old Nicky G's got them. Man, it is 6 a.m. Your host, old Nicky G, is out there in the wilderness sniffing all the dark holes of the internet to find cards from Ravnica Remastered that used to be super duper expensive and have dropped like Boeing stock after that plane door flew off mid-flight. Now man, listen, who cares about the chase cards? We want steals, we want deals, we want anime cards. I don't buy sealed. Unless it's some kind of massive deal, I don't invest in cardboard. When Wizards is so mercurial, I'm not buying these for any other reason than I want them in my Commander decks, and I like cheap cards, brother. So what are the best deals from this newly released set? Well, right off the rip, you got Breac the Grandiloquent, especially the anime version, is down 50% to approximately $15. If an opponent would mill one or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. Simple, eloquent, he's got sweet art. He's really just in disbelief at the list of politicians who are on Epstein's jet, man. The guy's gonna take a while to review that. For some reason, not sure why, the anime version is the cheapest. They make Breac look a little chunky in that version. I think this has room to drop a little further, honestly. The demand for mill-centered cards may be waning. I think the people who want this at $15 are probably a somewhat small group of degenerate animals. I snagged one, of course. The Cloudstone Curious Case of Benjamin Button is a strange little card that depicts a werewolf who smoothed down his head, which is hard to do in the normal course of business. Whenever a non-artifact permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. There are all kinds of wacky things you can do with this. You can combo out your creatures with this, you can generate infinite mana. It was a $50 card with only one print prior to this. Now it's available for 15 bucks or a little less. Incredible card, not a terrible price. I actually have the old school version, but it's not even in a deck currently, so I'm not buying one. But if you want some veiny hands cradling a sphere of doom, then the anime version is for you. It's about $10. This guy, Carlo of the Ghost Council, it's a white and black for a legendary creature, Spirit Advisor, it's a 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put 2+1/+1 counters on this card. White and a black removes 6+1/+1 counters from Carlo of the Ghost Council. Exile target creature. This little chunky monkey sitting up there in his throne. He's looking down on all the little supplicants below, dude, just like Elon Musk. This old art is fantastic, and the card is a brutal 2-drop in a life gain deck or as a build around Commander. This was only printed in Commander 2015, and there was a Judge promo as well. The retro version is $4 right now, down from $15 to $18 for the Commander 2015 version. For this card, $4 is an excellent deal. Now Lord of the Void, specifically the retro frame version, is $5. Previously this was a $15 card. Look at this guy, he's being a creep with his buddies like the crew from the Jersey Shore out there. This is an excellent reanimator target. It's 4 black for a creature demon, it's a 7/7 with flying. Whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield under your control. For that effect, $5 is pretty decent. Give this guy haste and you're in business. Utvara Hellkite, 6 red for a creature dragon, it's a 6/6 with flying. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Bonkers. The fear of dragons is as old and as powerful as the fear of death itself. That's pretty accurate, especially when it comes to this card. Are you tutoring out a dragon? Well, the odds are decently steep that you're going to get the old Utvara Hellkite. I've won games on the back of this guy and his buddies that he brings along. This one seems to get pretty frequent reprints. But the retro frame, which is great looking, is about $6. I'm not going to say this is a deal, but it's typically about $10 to $12. Speaking of dragons, look at this beauty, $4 to $5 right now for the retro frame. We got flying, trample. Whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game, you idiot. This really needs haste to be super effective, but listen man, if you steal 2 rocks and a clue, you're making out great with this. The anime version is actually a little cheaper, but only by about 50 cents or so. It's neat looking, I guess. And who can forget about the Crypt Ghast, 3 and a black for a creature spirit, it's a 2/2 with Extort. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black. Also about $5 right now. This guy's just playing with his masks in the dark, he's very emo. Protean Hulk, this guy's a combo machine. There's a whole archetype named after this guy, although Flash is banned right now. The Flash Hulk archetype. The infamous Hulk, dude, the Incredible Hulk you might say. This guy's an anime powerhouse, man. The anime version's only about $4 and change. Look at this guy, brother. This is the anime that I can get behind, man. Get your protein out there, brother. Get it from the Protean Hulk. And for $4.16, you can be the proud owner of the boar god himself, anime style, Ilharg the Raised Boar. This guy's 3 red for a legendary creature, boar god. It's a 6/6 with trample. Whenever this guy attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Return that card to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So this is like an improved sneak attack, man. When Ilharg the Raised Boar dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library 3rd from the top. It's tough to get rid of. It's pretty aggressively costed, 5 mana for a 6/6 with trample. Come on, dude. While this was never super expensive, $4 shipped is pretty nice, man. Rakdos, Lord of Riot, such a tremendous enabler, fantastic commander, great in any demon deck. This guy, who says creature spells cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn, was around $6 down to about $2 right now. Nice. You have a retro frame if you like that kind of stuff too. Speaking of retro frames, this card gets trotted out it seems like every other set nowadays. The Ding Dang Doodle Spark Double. The retro is $3. This thing goes and goes in so many decks, man. This guy says to your commander, hey man, I see you're struggling out there. Let me help you with your job for a little bit. Let me maybe hang out in your house. You can concentrate on stuff out there in the world, you know. Then you come back and your wife is all happy. She's frolicking in the garden, man. Spark Double's galloping off into the sunset. Didn't even mow the lawn. That's what you can expect from this guy. Muddle the Mixture. Now this is a decent counterspell just by itself, but the real juicy bit is that you can tutor up a 2 mana value card for 3 mana with the transmutability. This guy thought he was muddling a mixture, but he was mothering a fixture, and now it's $2, brother. Now there's only a retro frame in this set, but you got Enter the Infinite. So this is 8 blue for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library. Then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. Now you have this old Therese Nielsen version. You know, that's the artist that got banned. This one is about $7. You have Dr. Strange here. He bought the gas station male enhancement pills with Ryu from Street Fighter on the front, and now he's seeing through time and space. Now look at this $2 retro frame version with kind of a squat sphinx and some family jewels he's tossing around. I don't know, man. I like the old version, but this is the ultimate stupid sorcery that if you have your whole deck in your hand and you can't win the game, then just quit and go be a family man. Alright, I want to do one more here, Chromatic Lantern. I saw a whole video of Josh Lee Kawhi dropping a grumpy on a pile of chromatic lanterns, figuratively, okay? Not a literal crab cake out there, and I took offense to that. 3 mana rocks are looked down upon in these strange times, but in a 4 to 5 color deck, this gets the job done. Used to be $9, now you can get under a grumpy for $2 and change. This anime version is beautiful, brother. Come on. Alright, so I'm going to spill the beans a little bit here. I bought a Breac, a Lord of the Void, an anime Ilharg, and a Muddle the Mixture. That's my single bind for this set. That's it, man. But there are a ton of pricey cards that aren't as pricey anymore, and I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, drop a grumpy crab cake comment, dude. Love and life to you and your kindred folk. Never your tribe, your typal shakurs only. Sneaky G from Better Commander signing off.